is just one of the postures of prayer. What is kneeling? Is the position of begging. If you're coming to a man, kneeling before a man, you are plea. He said you are pleading for something. So when you come to God on your knees, it's more of a begging. You are looking and pleading with God for something. The second position is prostrate. To be prostrate is a position of surrender, dedication, consecration. When you want to dedicate yourself to God, this is the position. It is the place of total surrender. You prostrate before Him. There's another position you can take. You can sit before Him. David spent more time sitting before the Lord. If you study the life of David, David set up what is called the tabernacle of David. The tabernacle of David, he completely disrupted everything that had been known from the days of Moses. They had the Ark of the Covenant and they had the tabernacle of Moses in a place called Hebron. And David took the Ark of the Covenant out of the tabernacle of Moses, set up a tent in the city of Jerusalem, which he called the tabernacle of David. In the tabernacle of David, there was no sacrifices, no burnt offerings. He completely disrupted what Moses did. All that was going on is that he had 4,000 Levites, and he had 3 major key priests, Heman, Jeduthun, and Asaph, divided those 4,000 priests into different groups, running 8-hour shifts. And they used to sit down around the tabernacle of David and they worship God 24/7. And for the 40 years that David was on the throne, the tabernacle of David 24/7 worship was on for 40 years. And David used to sit down with Heman, Jeduthun, Asaph. There are 10 elders that wrote the book of Psalms. Those are the elders who sat down and they will prophesy unto God in Psalms, while scribes will be writing down the prophecies, which we call the books of Psalms. And the book of Amos and the book of Acts says that before Jesus will come again, he shall restore the tabernacle of David. I'm not hearing anything in this house.
Glory.
Oh my God, you better stand up and give Jesus a shout. I don't like the way you're responding. That is what we call ministering unto the Lord. Take your seats. So you have kneeling, begging, pleading. You have lying prostrate, which does with consecration. Then sitting has to do with worship, ministering unto the Lord. I was ministering in Italy earlier, sometime last year. And the people who invited me lodged me in the hotel. And the first day of ministry, I asked them, please, what is the program? What is the theme? What do you want me to preach? They said, for today, you're not preaching anything. We are bringing you to minister to the people. I said, minister to the people how? What do you mean? I said, you're just going to come. We'll be bringing people for counseling. You're just coming to minister to the people. No preaching. I said, okay, let's go. I landed in the church. I sat down. The first person they brought to me to minister unto was a young man about 22, 23 on a wheelchair, crippled. And they wheeled the wheelchair to me and said, man of God, over to you. And I look up and I look down. I say, who brought me here? I have witnessed cripples rising in my ministry. But when you're brought before one-on-one, and there are people sitting down for counseling, watching you, what you're coming to do. Well, I prayed, and even me who prayed the prayer, I didn't believe my prayer. And they wheeled him out, and they brought the next person, said, man of God, this is a couple, they are 13 years, no child, over to you. By the time I finished that counseling session, I went back to my hotel. I was so ashamed and embarrassed. And I lay prostrate. And I said, Lord, if you are with me, you would have healed. Because you are the healer divine. Why is it that I was put to shame and nothing can happen? Are you with me or you're not with me? What is going on? I need answers. And the Lord said, but I left you a long time ago. You didn't know? I said, left me how? Father, do you know that by the grace of God, I'm a praying man. By the grace of God, I live a holy life. Is there any sin? Left me how? He said, you left your main calling. Which calling? I didn't call you, number one, to minister to the people. Your number one calling is to minister unto me. And the Lord said, as long as you spend more time ministering to the people, that's what you've been doing for the me. I need you to tell me, I appreciate you, I love you. I need you to clap hands for me in my presence. That if you don't do that unto me more than you do to the people, I'm not coming back. And so I had to shut down everything, to take time to start ministering unto the Lord. Everybody, get off your chair. Sit down on the floor.